Hi, 4th grade, it's Mrs. Boswell, and today we're going to do Module 5, Lesson 17, adding and subtracting fractions from a whole, or also 1. Okay? So yesterday we were just adding and subtracting fractions. Today we're going to do it with a whole. So here we go. You notice I already kind of have some writing on here, but really it should read 1 minus 3/8 is blank. Okay? And you'll notice that mine has a little writing. Don't worry about that. I have started my video again. Remember, at any time you can pause as you need. So let's read our I Can statement. It says, I can use visual models to add and subtract fractions with the same unit. Remember, same unit is meaning we're going to looking at our denominator. Denominator. Okay, right? And subtracting from one whole, right? Or 1. All right. So imagine I have 1 minus 3/8. Which number is my fraction? If you said 3/8, you're correct. That's my fraction. What's my whole? Oh, my whole is 1. All right. And I am subtracting those, 4th grade. So we're going to figure out how would I do that. Okay. And down here, you'll notice there is a mistake. Would you please change that plus sign to just a minus for me? Because that should be minus there. All right, so here we're going to do it. It says, are the values the same? Well, I have a 1, and then I have 3/8. Okay? So it says, remember, we have to make the unit the same. So if I look up here, my unit is 8. Do I have a unit here for the whole? No. How could I make that whole into a fraction using the 8 units? What would that number be? Think about it. If you said 8/8, you're right, because one whole of 8s would be 8/8. Okay? And then I'm going to subtract, what did it say here? Minus 3/8. Okay? So I have 8/8 minus 3/8 equals blank. Well, that's where we're going to pull in our number line. We're going to use that model. Okay? So I know if I use this number line and my denominator is 8. Okay? So I know over here I'm going to have to break this number line into 8. So I have 8/8 because I know that's my whole. I know I have 0/8 here, right? And I know that half of 8/8 is 4/8. Okay? And then I can add in my other little lines. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So I would have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. Okay? And I have all my little tick marks on there. Now, just like yesterday, we're going to use our dots. So it says 8/8. So I'm going to start here at 8/8, right? And it says I'm going to subtract 3/8. Okay, my denominator is the same, so that's going to stay the same down here, right? But let's subtract 3. Now, which way would I go? Would I go this way for my numbers to get bigger? Or would I go this way on the number line to make my numbers get smaller when I subtract? If you said smaller, you're right. So I'm going to take away 3. 1, 2, 3. Where did I end up at? 5/8. Oh, 4th grade. My denominator stays the same, which is 8. Is 8 minus 3 5? It sure is. So, 4th grade, 1 minus 3/8 equals 5/8. All we did is take that fraction and put it into a mixed number, or a whole of 1. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do addition. Okay, so this time I have 1 plus 7/12 equals blank. Okay, well, let's look at our same unit. So I want to look at that denominator. My denominator is 12. Okay, so are my values the same? Well, not yet, because I still have a whole here. How could I change that whole into a unit of 12ths? Right? One whole would be 12 twelfths. Okay, so that one whole became 12 twelfths. Do I need to change anything with a 7/12? I sure don't. Okay, so now we're going to add them. So I have 12, 12. I know that stays the same, right? Okay. Oh man. So I have a number line, but this might get a little tricky, so let's kind of check it out. And we're going to do this. I'm going to have you guys do this for me. You have a 0 there. I want you to add a 1 here and a 2 here. Can you do that for me on your number line? I want it to go from 0, 1, 2. Okay? So, remember, we have our whole is 12 twelfths. So I know that this one is 12 twelfths. This is going to be 0 twelfths, right? Ooh, half of 12 twelfths is 6 twelfths, right? Ooh, man, I'm going to have a lot of little tick marks in here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, okay. Oh, 12ths. Now this has to say twelfths, right? 4th grade? So what would, if I have 12 twelfths here, right? 12 divided by 12 is 1. What number divided by 12 would give me 2? Or I could do the opposite, right? If I divide, I can multiply. What's 12 times 2? If you said 24, you are so right. Is 24, when I divide 24 by 12, do I get 2? I sure do. So that's how I know that this was 24. And why am I keeping it 12s? 4th grade? Because guess what my common denominator is? It's 12. All right? And the reason that we're going a little bit bigger, and why I have a 2 here, is because I already know that I'm going to be adding. So when I add, when I go on the number line, I have to move this way, and my number's going to get bigger. And I already know I have 12 twelfths. I already have 1 whole, right? Well, I have to add 7 more to that, 7 twelfths of that. So I have to figure out what is this here, okay? So I have to have all these little tick marks in here, right? Okay, so we're going to keep going. So halfway here, right? So I have 12, 13, 14, 6. So I've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so now I have all my little tick marks in there, right? Well, I'm going to start at 12 twelfths, right? And it says I have to add 7 twelfths, right? I know that my 12 stays the same, but what is 12 plus 7? Well, I'm going to start on that 12. I'm going to add 7. Ooh, and I got these little tick marks down here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to end up right here, but I haven't marked what that is. So I'm going to have to count it. So this would be 13 twelfths, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 twelfths. Oh, 12 plus 7 is 19 twelfths. Now 4th grade, just like you've been doing, you need to take this this fraction and put it into a mixed number. Well, I already know that there are 12 twelfths in it, right? Okay, plus what is going to give me 19? Oh, 4th grade, this one is super easy. Are you ready? I have 12 twelfths, right? That's my whole. That's 1. What did I add to it? 7 twelfths. Oh, 19 twelfths is the same as 1 and 7 twelfths, right? So I took my number, right, my fraction, and I put it into a mixed fraction, which ended up being 1 and 7 twelfths. All right, 4th grade, let's keep going, okay? Now this time, it says, subtract a fraction from a number between 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to use visual models to help us. So let's kind of try this together. Okay, so I have 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5. All right, well, I'm going to have to take that mixed number, and I need to put it into just a fraction. Okay, so I know that this 1 is the same as 5/5, right? So 5/5 plus 1/5 now becomes, if you said it 6/5, you're right. So now I have 6/5 minus 2/5 equals blank. Okay, well, did my denominator stay the same? It did. It stays 5. Okay, and then what's 6 minus 2? It's 4. So we think that 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5 is 4/5. Okay, we're going to see if we can figure that out. Okay, All right, so let's look at this. So I have this area model right here. And I know that I am going to take this, right? And I know I have fifths, so I'm going to break it into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Well, remember, I have how many more? I have 1 and 1/5, correct? So I am going to have to add a sixth one on there, right? Because I have 6/5. Because that's really what it's telling me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6/5, right? That's a little confusing, right? So I'm going to cross this off because I already know that I have 5 here and I need to break this into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's my 1. I have to color it in, so this is your 1, right? And then over here I'm going to color in 1, and that's my 1/5, correct? But 4th grade, it says to subtract 2/5, so I'm going to have to cross off 2 of these. Now, am I going to do the ones that are blank? Nope, I just can only do the ones that are filled in. So I'm going to cross off this one here, and I'm going to cross off this one here, right? Because I had 1 and 1/5. Here's my whole and my 1/5. I'm going to cross off 1 1/5 and a second 1/5 because I have to take off 2, right? 6 minus 2. Did I get 4/5? How many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this equals 4/5. Did I get the same answer? I sure did. So 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5 is 4/5. Okay. I could also model that on a number line 4th grade like this, right? And it says between, so I have 0, 1, and 2, right? And it says my 1 is fifth, so I have 5/5. Okay, this one would be 10/5, 0/5. Okay, and I'd have to go in here, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. You see how we've kind of put them in there? 5/5, 6/5, 7/5, 8/5, 9/5, 10/5, correct? Well, I know that I'm going to start with 1 and 1/5, or if we moved it into a normal, from a mixed fraction to just a fraction, I'm going to start at 6/5 right here, and I'm going to take away 2. 1, 2. Oh, where do I end up, everybody? 4/5. So whether I use an area model or I use a number line, I'm still going to get this same answer. All right, let's flip it over and do the next one. Okay, so this one says subtract a fraction between 1 and 2. Okay, it says let's find the value of 1 and 1/4 minus 3/4 equals blank. Okay, well, what I'm going to have to do is this. I'm going to have to take that 1 and 1/4, that 1 and 1/4, and I need to find the whole. Well, I know that 1 is, I know my denominator is 4, right? Because those are same. So I'm going to start out with 1 is 4/4 plus, what was this fraction? 1/4. And it says I need to add those. 4/4 plus 1/4 is 5/4, right? So 1 and 1/4, if I break that down, becomes 5/4, right? I make that mixed fraction into just a fraction, which is 5/4. Okay, and then I'm going to minus 3/4. So here we go. And I'm going to use my number line this time. Ooh, and I see it's 0, and I see the ones over here, but let's put the 1 here and then the 2 here. Okay, so I have 5/4. Okay, so I'm going to divide each of these into fourths. So I know this is going to be 4/4. So I have 1/4, 0/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4. Ooh, wait, what's double of 4? It's 8. 8/4 over here. So 5, 6/4, 7/4, right? These are all into fourths. So here's my whole, remember? And I know that I'm going to start with 5/4, right? Because this number became 5/4, so I'm really doing 5/4 minus 3/4. So I'm going to start at 5/4 right here, and I'm going to subtract 3/4. So I'm going to subtract 1, 2, 3. What do I get? 2/4. 2/4. Well, look, did my denominator say the same? Yep. Is 5 minus 3 2? It sure is. Now, 4th grade, I could also show it down here using my area model. So I showed you the number line here, but I could also use the area model, right? So I'm going to break this one. Remember, my denominator is 4, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have my fourths. Okay, I put them into fourths because that's my common denominator, right? Well, I know I have one whole one covered in, so all these have to be covered, and that makes one whole, right? But then how many more do I have? I have one whole and then 1 1/4. So I have this one, 1/4, right? So I have 1 1/4, right? I just add those up. Just kind of like I did up here, right? Except for this time it's in an area model, okay? I could do the addition sentence to help me figure out and change this mixed fraction into just a fraction, okay? Or I could just use a number line. So you kind of decide what works best for you, but you are going to have to model the two different ways. So now, 4th grade, I have 1 1/4 are also the same as 5/4 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, there's 5 all together. So now what we're going to do is we have to subtract 3/4. So I have to subtract 3 of those. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, what do I have left? I have 2/4. Is that what we got up here? We sure did. It's 2/4. All right, let's model one more time before you go off on your own. And this time we're just going to use an area model. So I have 1 3/8 minus 5/8. I know that my denominator is in eighths. So I'm going to divide these boxes into eighths. So I'm going to go half, and then I'm going to half these each again, and then I have to have half of these again, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Then I'm going to do that the same for this one. Make sure we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it says I have a 1, remember, and that 1 is 8/8. So I'm going to color these all in. So here's my 1, right? And then I have 3/8, so I have to add that on there. 1, 2, 3. So there's my 1 and my 3/8. So where's my 1 3/8? Okay, I'm modeling that. And then it says I'm going to subtract 5/8. So I have to subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, how much do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look, I have 6/8. So I think my answer is 6/8, right? Well, I could do that. I could keep that going, right? I have 8/8 plus 3. Right, could be 8/8. 8/8, so 8 plus 3 is 11/8, right? 11/8. And 11 minus 5 is 6. Oh, look, an 8. Like, does that still work? It sure does. Okay, so 4th grade, you could use it by taking that mixed fraction and writing it into just a fraction. You could use your area model, which I am going to have you are going to model a few on your lesson today. So today, you guys were able to use our visual models of number lines and area models to add and subtract fractions with the same unit and subtracting from one whole. Good job today.